the Real ID Act, a post-9/11 plan to improve security rules for driver's licenses. Finally, details were unveiled Friday, and it's going to mean big changes in the way we get and renew our most common form of ID. NBC's Pete Williams has more on the story. Good morning, Pete.
Amy, this is something that will affect nearly everybody that has a driver's license. That's more than 200 million of us. We'll all soon face more scrutiny when these licenses come up for renewal. Responding to a storm of protest from states, the Department of Homeland Security says it will delay by nearly a decade the final deadline for Real ID, a requirement that Americans get a more secure driver's license if they want to use it to board planes and pass federal security checks.
We think going forward with this rule is a fair balance between important security measures and the need to make sure we are cost-effective in what we do.
To lower the costs, Real ID will concentrate first on younger Americans, starting with the age group most terrorists have come from. Within the next 6 years, by 2014, anyone under 50 must get the new, more secure ID. For everyone else, the deadline is 2017. Getting Real ID will require showing up with documents to prove identity and home address. The states must also add security features to make licenses harder to counterfeit. The Homeland Secretary says it will be worth the cost and bother.
It prevents someone from evading a watch list and getting on an airplane and blowing the plane up because they pretended to be someone else. Second, it damages or just takes away one of the major tools of illegal immigration.
And Secretary Chertoff says by phasing this program in over the next 9 years, it will cut about 75% off the cost to the states, Amy.
And Pete, speaking of states, I understand there are still quite a few who are resisting this notion of a secure or a real ID. What then happens to those residents of those states that are still resisting?
Some states have actually even passed laws saying, no, we're not going to take part. And I think Homeland hopes that the states that have rejected Real ID as either too expensive or not worth the trouble will now reconsider. These states have until May to say whether they will join the program. But if they still say no, then their residents, as of this May, will no longer be able to use a driver's license to board an airplane and will need some other form of accepted federal ID, and for most people that'll mean a passport.
All right, Pete, so we all know the lines at the DMV are notoriously long. What happens now with this now overhaul when I go next time, say, to the DMV to renew my driver's license? Okay, well, when you renew your current license and switch over to Real ID, you will need to show up in person. You can't do this online or in the mail. You'll have to have your picture taken. They'll get your digital signature. And you'll have to bring a document to prove that you are who you say you are. And your current driver's license won't work for that. The state will verify those documents and do a computer search to make sure that nobody else with your name and social security number has a license in any other state. And by the way, Homeland says this is one way that they'll help to reduce identity theft. That'll take some time, so don't expect to get your Real ID license the same day. It's going to be mailed to you, most likely. All right, and I'm sure there will be long lines as usual. Pete Williams, thank you.